hello, everybody out there in Facebook land, TikTok world, everywhere you want to be, and you are. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am your host, Monty Anderson, here at 412 Productions, the art of Monty Anderson. Hopefully, you all are doing great out there. It is bright and early. We are going on just a hair early this morning for the show, but hopefully, you all are awake, coming online and checking things out. So what's going on, everybody? Hopefully, y'all are doing great out there and staying safe in this time of all this goody good weather that we're having. Our area is flooded. Arkansas has been put into the state of emergency due to all the floods that are happening right now. And just right around our area, even, we have a lot of rivers and creeks that are going over the road. They have roads closed and things of that nature. So, all kinds of different things are happening right now at this time of the season. And um, flooding in our area is right now, plus a freeze on the way. Temperatures are supposed to drop into the 30s, drop down to the freeze level here tonight, actually. So I'm going to have to bring some plants inside. Not that I wanted to, but I'm going to have to. And it is what it is. I mean, we know that up until April, right before Easter, basically, the we have the potential for a freeze, even snow. So I know some of Oklahoma's city area, Oklahoma and northwest Arkansas, some are calling for snow. So that is a little intense for some of these 70, 80 degree days that we've been having, and then all of a sudden here we are in the 40s and then dropping into the 30s overnight. And but it is what it is. That's how it goes in the central section of this world, here in the United States, in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri, Upper Texas, places like that. We have that potential, and it's just one of those things we got to deal with on a regular basis. But yeah, again, welcome to the show. I am your host here at 412 Productions, the art of Monty Anderson. I did not see a drop from Mr. Ben Dunn yesterday. Um, that doesn't mean I don't have one. It just means I didn't see it, or else we would be talking about Antarctic Press today. So I'm gonna go check my email real fast just to see what I got, because as of last check, which I didn't check late last night, um, I did not see a drop from Mr. Ben Dunn for Antarctic Press title this week. I know that there's a lot of interruptions going on because Diamond Distributions has been bought by a company, and now I'm seeing that uh, people are adjusting their comic prices due to it. And thank you for the likes out there. I appreciate that, Mr. Roy Joe Bradley Jr. Welcome to the show. If you said anything right now, I did not see that because I am looking up here on my. Looks like I'm talking to the Facebook audience right now while I'm trying to get my other email up and running. So give me a minute, folks. Please give me a moment. Kill for a moment. Don't ever sing again, they said. Don't ever sing again. But no, seriously, we are experiencing flooding right now in this area of the world. And why can't you be reached, you jerk? There we go. Yeah. Yeah, more issues is what my title is for today. Just because. Thank you, Roy Joe, for the new little chili that you gave me. Much appreciated. And you sent me a heart buff. Oh, how cute. So, yeah, for some reason we did not get a drop from Mr. Ben Dunn yesterday. which was Friday, and he could be taking a small break from things. There's just some heart puffs just for you, bud. Well, thanks, man. Like I said, I always appreciate it. That does add up in my kiddie pool over there, um, for the money that comes in to restock my supplies and keep this show running at an optimal level. This show at an optimal level. Yeah, right. Nah, it's just we're here to have fun, and that really does just help back into the supplies that I get for all of my artwork and things of that nature. So I do appreciate you guys that do donate to the cause. Um, I think I'm up to like $5 now, but there are ways that you can tip, donate, and all that stuff. And much appreciated, Mr. Roy Joe Bradley Jr. for hitting that 93, making it to 100 on the board for the Chili's. So that is much appreciated. But yeah, we do not have a drop, unfortunately, from Mr. Ben Dunn for Antarctic Press. So I will get with him later today to see what's going on with that. I know that with the disruption of the purchase of Diamond Distribution, that distributes all the comic books out there, then yes, you did, buddy. I appreciate it. And a lot of people are scrambling right now to try and figure out what's going to happen. I think it was a Chinese company that actually bought Diamond Distribution. Um, and so I've already seen where Image Comics are raising the price of their comic books because of, you know, certain things that are happening in the world. And again, we're not going to talk about that type of stuff. No, no politics or religion get talked about here. And but certain things are going to happen with comic books. Um, and Image Comics is already doing what they want, um, and in reality, it's just to pad more money into their pockets, into their situation. So, and so I can't fault them for it, but whenever you keep raising your comic book prices, you're going to lose a lot of followers. Just how it goes. Um, and people are still going to buy, you know, that have that unlimited resource of money potential out there. And I'm lagging super bad over there on OBS. OBS over here. I might stop the stream. It's killing me. Rain is coming again today. We've had rain for the past 4 days. Rain's been going. What is today? Today is the 6th. We've had rain since Thursday. Late Wednesday. We had it all day Thursday. Had a nice thunderstorm on Friday. We had uh, Saturday was thunderstorms, and we have more today. Plus the freezing temperatures happening tonight. They're saying it's supposed to drop into like 32 degrees. Today's temperature high is supposed to be about 47. Tomorrow's in the 50s, but the low is overnight is going to be like 35, 36, somewhere in that range. And so, we are looking forward to that. I didn't say anything about the 24th. I was just looking at the date for today, which is the 6th. I know what you're waiting for, which is the NFL draft. I get that. And a lot of people are waiting for the NFL draft to see who they're going to pick up for the rest of the season and who they're going to drop off during preseason. That's what preseason's all about. To see who's going to cut it in the NFL or who's not, or who's going to get, you know, cut from one team and picked up by another. Because, ooh, I like the flash of that guy. So, no, I wasn't even looking at the 24th. I was just looking to see what date the rain started, which was Wednesday night with the second and it hasn't let up yet, which makes it very difficult to work in my garden. So Lane is hoping his Dolphins pick up a corner or a lineman. Yeah, what's the situation with your Tyreek Hill situation? I've heard the Cowboys have a chance of landing him, and I think it's the Raiders are looking. I think it's the Raiders. I could be wrong on that, but those are two of his landing spots for your Tyreek Hill there, Mr. Lane. And welcome to the show. Thank you for stopping in and checking things out. But yes, state of emergency has been called here in Arkansas due to all the flooding that's happening right now. Like I said, we have one road heading into Lavaca from our area that is completely closed because it is completely underwater. Um, so it's closed on both ends. Yeah, he was frustrated with Tua. I get that. I saw some of that. Be nice if our Cowboys got Tyreek Hill. That would be awesome. I mean, it would be cool, but there's a lot of good young talent out there in the draft, and I think we're going to end up picking up a couple of good wide receivers in the draft, and if not just in the draft, at least one in the draft. We're going to pick up some in free agency because this class is stacked with talent all the way around. So it's gonna be interesting what's gonna happen out there for it all. But yeah, Tyreek would be a good addition. He's still got the speed. Um, I don't know about the physicality of him, but yeah, no, I get that, and that's a lot of people. I mean, we had issues with that too, with our offensive line. Yeah, we'll see if he's even there, still there, Roy, at 12. Um, there's already a lot of people speculating that he won't be there at 12, but there's going to be a lot of additions. Quarterbacks are going first, 100%, and then you're going to see some O linemen go at the same time that a quarterback's going. Because your first two picks are going to be quarterbacks, 100%. Unless, unless somebody trades down and gets the number one pick from, what is it, Tennessee? Get the number one pick. But it's going to be an interesting draft all the way around. And I, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be cool. Now, am I going to watch it on TV? No, I never do. Hardly ever do anymore. I used to back in the day, but anymore I just watch it come through on my phone. Yeah, yeah, the Browns are looking. You're gonna check. You'll be back. Okay. And he's saying the Browns on Lane is right here, so it might be the Browns going first. I don't know. I haven't looked to see what the pecking order is here lately. Who's getting what and where they are, but we're still supposedly at number 12. And but yeah, Travis Hunter is going to go pretty high on the board as well because he is a good player. There's no doubt about it. So he's gonna make the starting role. So, but no, lots of stuff is happening over here. I've got a program that I like to use, and I've been using it for years. That all of a sudden has crapped the bed on me, um, just because uh, it wanted to stop working. Every time I try to save or open up a project in it, it crashes. Titans number one, Browns number two, Giants three, Patriots and Jaguars. There we go. So there you have it. Your Titans, Browns, Giants, Patriots, and Jaguars are your first five pickers. And so my program, which is Adobe Illustrator CS4, which is not the AI side of Adobe Illustrator or Adobe products, that is now, um, it is starting to crash on me, and I don't know if it's because of the technology of the computer or if it is just a glitch in the system, and I need to clear the cache out and all that stuff, which is what I'm going to be doing next. But it is kind of a lifeline for me because that's how I create my logos and things of that nature for my comic book and other things. And if I can't save and I can only open up projects, then it's kind of worthless to me. And so I've got to get it up and running so that I can continue to be a viable part to my own existence. Now, if I can find a CS6 out there, not a student or teacher's edition, which is another thing all of and of its own, because I don't want to to pay the cheap price and then not be able to use it just because I'm not a student or a teacher and I don't have that license to use them. There's tons of them out there, but then there's also tons of them out there that people want an exorbitant amount for an old, obsolete program, which is ridiculous in my opinion. So I was cruising eBay for a copy of it. Is like $800, and it's just like this technology doesn't even exist anymore for what I need it for. And yes, I've got my CS4. I've got another computer that doesn't have a CD drive, so I can't install it over here the way it needs to be installed. So it's just a catch 22 all the way around. Yes, I'm looking at another computer, 100%. Um, that has updated technology, you know, and but yet it's money, money, money out the window. I just spent $600 on a fucking um, dumpster, roll off dumpster, and I still feel like I got taken on that little endeavor. Um, I should have just went with my first gut instinct and got the one that I wanted, and because it was nowhere near the overage that one was, especially if I was to take it to the dump myself, and I'm paying $45 a load to the dump. Yeah, it still would have cost me some money over the long run, but as it stands, if I would have taken 10 loads, that would have been like $400, not 600. But it is what it is, and you live and you learn, and you move on with life. You gripe a little bit, and you cry, and you look at your bank account, and it's just like, yeah, that's not good. But again, it is what it is, and you move on and you go. So there you go. But yeah, we are under a state of emergency here in Arkansas right now. I don't know how many other states have declared a state of emergency due to the tornadoes, and if they are flooding like we are, like crazy right now with all this heavy thunderstorms and tornadoes and everything else that's floating through the area, which don't stop until Monday early. There's still a 20% chance of rain on Monday. So here in Arkansas, and that's not every part of Arkansas, but that's a good majority of Arkansas. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, hey, we're not under a burn ban right now. So um, now again, that's only certain parts. Now there are parts that haven't gotten any rain at all, but um, that's neither here nor there. So, but whenever this is all said and done, I can start burning some stuff in my fire pit and in the burn piles that I've got. Yes, that's what I was talking about earlier, probably before you got on, Mr. Lane. That in Oklahoma it's supposed to be snowing right now, but it's raining instead. Yeah, I heard that there was supposed to be some snow chances up in your area, and I was talking about tonight. It's going to be in the freezing temperatures, so I got to bring some plants in. I didn't want to bring some plants in, but I'm going to have to keep them alive. They're my pepper plants, so I can't let them freeze up. So I'm going to be transporting them inside later today, before tonight, and I might go ahead and start burning some stuff off. As a matter of fact, in the fire pit. But we're supposed to get some more thunderstorms today, and early morning Monday, I believe, is when it's supposed to kind of stop and subside here in Arkansas, and give us a break for about a week, and then possibly some more rain. which is good. We always need the rain, but I need to have my garden in first, Mother Nature, so that it can be watered that way. I'm just happy we don't have the goats right now because they'd be hating life, being stuck inside or out in the rain getting soaked. So I am kind of happy that we don't have the goats right now because they would be either in their pen watching from the door, you know, calling out since they wouldn't venture out into the rain. But yeah, I mean that's here too. I mean Arkansas and Oklahoma, and I'm from Oklahoma. Um, have like they said, if you want to have a different weather, just wait 5 minutes. If you want different temperatures, wait 5 minutes. It'll change. Don't worry about it. But Oklahoma, Arkansas, parts of Texas all have almost the same type of bipolar weather that you're talking about there, Mr. Lane. And so I get it 100%. But like I said, I was born and raised in Oklahoma most of my life up until I moved over here in 2010. And, from 71 to 2010, that's how long I was in Oklahoma. So do that math. And then I've been over here since 2010, so 15 years here in Arkansas. And Arkansas is a good place. I mean, we were watching some waterfalls yesterday that we found a new little spot that we didn't know existed 100%. It's a big park right off the river, which is swelling. And if we get any more rain, it's going to be coming over its banks some more. The big river, I'm talking about the Arkansas River. And it's already way high and almost to the tops of the area to where it's going to start overflowing. And they're pumping out water as fast as they can, but it's not going to do any good right now. Yes, as he says, he's been to Arkansas a couple of times. The cliffs and waterfalls are beautiful, especially if you go up into the Mountainburg area. Um, uh, Up towards there's a big resort up there. I mean, there's just a tons of places you can go for hiking and being outdoors and rappelling and you know hang gliding and all kinds of different things. Here in Arkansas, waterfalls are abundant all over the place. There's even on TikTok, there's and it's on Facebook and Reels, but it's the waterfalls of Arkansas, and they just go to waterfall after waterfall after waterfall. And the one we tried to get to yesterday was very remote. It was a marshy area. We couldn't get to it, but we could see it, and it was very cool because it's coming from high up on the cliffs and not quite a mountain where that is, but it's just a good bluff right there, and you can just hear it roaring because of all this water that we've had. And then we could see it from a distance. We just couldn't get to it, and but maybe next time. But no, there's tons of stuff to do here. Diamond mine, crystal mines, um, all kinds of different caverns and caves to explore. You've also got Eureka Springs area, which has the Crescent Hotel, which has a lot of cool downtown shops and places to visit. There's just all kinds of different cool stuff going on here in Arkansas that you don't get to see everywhere else. Now, like when you go to Colorado, you've got the True Mountains, and I've been to the top, to the tippy top, where you're losing your breath and you need some oxygen. You need to carry an oxygen tank with you, literally. But with that being said, there's every state has something to offer except for Kansas. Um, Sorry, Kansas is one of the flattest places I've ever seen in my life. Um, but no, most states have something cool to offer as far as, especially if you're an outdoors person. Um, what about the Razorback baseball team? I know nothing about it. Sorry, Mr. Roy, I don't follow Arkansas as much as you do. And yeah, Kansas is totally boring. I agree. I've been to Kansas many times, from Kansas City, Kansas, to Kansas City, or Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas. I mean, lots of different parts of Kansas I've been to. No, I will not go to an Arkansas Razorback game unless they're playing Oklahoma Sooners, and then I'll go to that one. So if that happens, Roy, we might have to go. But yeah, no. Every state has something to do. Like Texas, lots of water, lots of lakes, and an area to fish in. Lots of hunting down there. Big open spaces and a lot of wooded area. I mean, heck, right behind my house, if it was legal, I'd be hunting right back there because there are deer and other wildlife back there that you know. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Since the Sonics uh, turned into the Oklahoma City Thunder after we had the Oklahoma Pelicans, which was the Oklahoma Hornets at the time, from the Louisiana Hornets, and then that name got bought by the other franchise, and then Louisiana took the Pelicans, which made no sense to me, but whatever. Um, but yeah. If so, you two fly, I'll buy. No, I mean if Oklahoma and Arkansas play in a baseball game, we'll have to go. But um, but yeah, yeah, Oklahoma's just growing big time, and the Thunder helped. I'm looking for. I mean, they've still got or they used to have the semi pro hockey team there, which was the Oklahoma 89ers at the time. Yeah, it's going to be cool to see the Sooners back in action. Um, Now, Mr. Roy is going to say he wants to see the Hogs back in action, but I've got a hog here at the house, and she's always in action, always wanting to eat and drink and pee and poo everywhere, and outside mainly, root around. So that's what the hogs do. They just root around. They try to find those championships. I'm sticking a spoon in you there, Mr. Roy Joe Bradley Jr. Mr. Roy Joe Twilight Bradley Jr. But yeah, no, it's going to be exciting time all the way around, especially with the new recruits that have come in for that money. Since the NIL is it the NIL is paying the students now to play at a school. Um, you guys are going to start a war on my page about football. Uh, but I get it. No, I mean they do have some good runs periodically, where they start out strong and then all of a sudden they falter. But OU does the same thing. We're ranked, and then next thing we know, we're not ranked. So let me see what you said there, Roy. Um, dun, dun, dun. No, I mean we can go watch a game. I don't know what you were talking about. If you're wrong, am I wrong though? Oh no, no, Lane, you're not wrong. I thought that was Roy. Sorry. No, no, no. You're right. I mean, but it's just like us with the Sooners. We start out strong. Like I said, we're ranked. We're in the top 10 or top 15 or whatever, and then next thing we know, we're winning. We're winning. We're winning, and then boom, we lose like 5 games in a row, and and it just sucks because here we were ranked and moving up in the ranks because we kept winning. But the thing is, whenever you're playing high school teams and you're blowing them out like 72 to 10 or 72 to 6 or whatever, you know. Yeah, Lincoln Riley, he was a piece of work. Let me just put it that way. Um no, he did the same thing that the Oklahoma State coach did whenever he said, "No, I'm loyal to the team and I'm not going anywhere." And then the very next thing you know, he's changing schools, and both of them did it. Uh, Lincoln Riley did it. Um, Les Miles, that's who it was, did it, and And it's just like, yeah, you guys weren't loyal to the program. You were loyal to the money. Yep, he took Caleb Williams with him, another Heisman winning quarterback that came from Oklahoma. Uh, Dylan Gabriel, uh, who's going into the draft this year, should have still been with us. Um, and we probably would have went farther, you know. But because Dylan Gabriel, I did like his play. He was a cool dude. As far as his football ability goes, I don't know how cool of a dude he is on a on a regular basis. Because most football players are douchebags. 100%. They're just in it for the money, and it proves that once they get to the NFL, oh, this team's going to pay me a higher salary, so I'm going to jump over there. Screw the team that drafted me, and screw the team that whatever. I'm going where the money is, and I get it. Get the money while you can, but yeah, no, I get that, and that was wrong all the way around for everybody. So I understand why he left, and Jackson Arnold is okay, uh, but he's not the caliber of quarterback that we need. And since we're now in the SEC, we need bigger bodies, 100%. And we can't think of the Big 12 mentality or the Pac-10 mentality or those type things. We got to think bigger bodies, especially on the line, the offensive and defensive lines. You need some 385 pounders that can bench press a semi truck, you know, and and you just don't see that at that level hardly anymore. I mean, you see it, but they're somewhere else. They're not at our schools. They're not even in Arkansas. Sorry, Roy. And you don't get some of the caliber like Joe Milton who can throw the ball 90 yards down the field, um, just because all of his Madden ratings went to his upper body. And he does have some wheels, um, and so that was a great pickup for us. But hopefully we can do something with that talent, because Dak Prescott, with his injury proneness that he's getting into right now, um, we'll see what happens to him this season. And I'm just happy that we have a little bit more athletic, talented backup. Cooper Rush was great. He was a proven winner, and but his wheels weren't that great. So the Ravens got a good pickup for 2 years with him. So as their backup, yeah, his tapes look great. I mean, coming out of Tennessee last year, so he's a beast, and he's not a small guy. He's pretty huge. So no, we don't need another tight end, especially one out of Arkansas. I don't even know who that is. So I haven't watched any of his tape. But yeah, Lane, the tape I've been watching on him is pretty phenomenal. Threw an orange for over 100 yards. Um, oh, I got you. Oh yeah, but football is right around the corner. It's knocking on us. It's knocking on the door. The draft is the 24th through the 26th. 3-day draft, Thursday through Saturday. Be there. And yeah, but no, and then your preseason kicks off. So yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for it to come back. Watch some preseason games. Watch the draft on my phone to see who we pick and who we didn't pick, because I mean it's just like the Travis Frederick pick that everybody was booing him about, and he turned into be one of the best football players ever. And a lot of people were like, "Man, we wish we would have drafted him." You know, good old Baker Mayfield. Yeah, yeah, he's a phenomenal. He's one of them phenoms. I mean, Kyler Murray is too, but it's getting close for both of them just start thinking about retirement, and that's the sad reality. And it's just like Dak Prescott. It's about time for him to start thinking about retirement too, because I mean, you were drafted in 2016, and here it is, almost, you know 10 years later, yeah, and with 2026 right around the corner, um, and what's your life expectancy left in the NFL? You know, UFL going on now. Watch a game or two or three or four or five or six or seven or 20 or 150,000. I don't know. I haven't watched one. I've seen some of the highlights. They look pretty good. Yeah, he's got a good chance down there in Tampa Bay. So I still follow some of the OU players, and there's tons of OU players out there in the NFL. Um, and I'm just happy we've got CD Lamb on the Cowboys. You know, so and Tyler Guyton, he's going to be a big upgrade this year for our line, just like BB, there, our center. That's where they're going to keep him for now, unless we draft a center or pick up a center somewhere, a true center, and then we'll move him back to guard. But no, it's going to be interesting draft, 100% all the way around. Yeah, yeah. I already talked about CD. I knew what you meant there. You don't have to correct yourself. I got it. Even though Miami is my team, I'll always say Baker Mayfield is my favorite player. I'll follow him. No, I get that. That's 100%. I can like certain players from other teams, but I can't. You know, I don't follow them. I don't do this. I don't do that. I can respect their talent. It's just like Justin Jefferson, great talent, um, but he's being wasted too. And then you've got unsung offensive linemen. You got unsung defensive linemen. Um, you've got some great cornerbacks out there. If you want to, yeah, no, I get that. Um, yeah, it's just like if CD Lamb went to the Eagles, or something like that, or to the Giants, you know, it would be an issue. And it's just like Saquon Barkley going from the Giants to the Eagles. All the Giants players had a fit about that, and because he wasn't doing good in New York, period. And then he has the best season ever with the Giants or with the Eagles, you know, and it's just like, and that happens to a player. They have to get out of where they are to perform better, you know, and you see it all the time. I mean, Dallas loses a ton of players on a regular basis, and they go somewhere else, and they look phenomenal. And it's just like Dante Fowler, who we just re-signed from the Washington Commanders. Now, I just can't say the Commanders; they're the Redskins. And yeah, Joe Milton. That's who I was talking about. Um, yeah, because Milton looked phenomenal. Just watching his tape, he's incredible. I mean, he's got some like so. That's what I was saying. All of his Madden pointing ratings went up into his arm strength. Because the dude can toss a ball 90 yards down the field without even thinking about it. And he's a big body, but he's also got some wheels, so he can break out of a situation and not get sacked. You know. And yes, the Browns did Baker dirty, and yes, it is biting them in the ass. You don't have to say rear on my show. You can use cursey words, um, but yeah, no. There's lots of people that were done wrong at certain teams, and they flourished somewhere else. Like I said, Dante Fowler started out as a Cowboy, went to the Redskins. I just can't say Commanders because it's they've been the Redskins for years. If you're going to change one team's name, then change all the teams' names that have something to do with an Indian affiliation. change the Chiefs to um, the Conquistadors or something, you know. Um, but yeah, no, and that's the sad thing about football. They can be a great player, but they're just not performing up to par until they change teams, and that's how it goes in the NFL. But some people just don't want to perform because, oh, I'm on this team. Like there was somebody that was griping and complaining about being drafted by the Browns, and they were like, man, that's the last team I wanted to be drafted by, and yada yada yada. And so they don't do good there at all. They don't fit into the program. They don't. They look like they're trying, but in they're sabotaging themselves is what's happening. And so if anybody has a lead on CS6 Master Collection, let me know. Adobe. So I'm trying to find a copy that is not the student or education edition because I do not have a license for that. So even if I were to buy it at a cheap price, I wouldn't be able to use it because I don't have a student or a um, teacher's ID. And so, I'm looking for a copy of CS6 Master Collection to upgrade from my CS4. Like I said, I'm going to try and clear the cache and all that stuff on my computer just to get it, to see if I can get it from crashing at all. Pretty much. Um, the Browns said, let's trade a third year quarterback and replace him with a dude that has SA cases. Yeah, and that's the sad part about a lot of things happening around the world right now. SA cases are happening on a regular basis, and some of it is just false testimony. Now, some of it could be completely true. We don't know the whole story, um, and with anybody, unless it's on film or recorded, But and sadly, a lot of it is recorded, like in hotel lobbies and hotel elevators and things like that. But yet, oh, that's not what really happened. He didn't beat the shit out of her in the elevator, and you've got it on video. That's not what happened. And it's just like, really, he left her in the elevator, basically knocked out. Yep. Honestly, the Browns brought it on themselves. Baker won them a playoff game after 20 plus years. Yeah, yeah, they did. And we all want that playoff game under our belt to go further into the playoffs, to go to that championship, to to get that Super Bowl win. And you know, the Eagles now have two under their belt. Congratulations. Um, we're still sitting at five. We should have more than that under our belt, but we got beat those other times we were in the Super Bowl back in the early days. And yeah, it's been a long time for us. We're now the longest NFC East team that has not made a playoff run in what 25, 26 years, something like that. So only reason why he looked bad his last year in Cleveland, they played him with a torn labrum. Yeah, yeah, he was hurt. Reminds me of Tony Romo whenever he was had the punctured lung and the broken rib and still won the game for the Cowboys. Um, we've turned into football talk here today, folks, because the draft is right around the corner and everybody has their favorite teams here. But that's okay. We talk about everything here from comic books to, hey, they won the Super Bowl, did they not? Like I said, they've only got two under their belt. So, and their tush push might be going away. So, who knows? We'll see. That's still under debate right now. But no, you have to congratulate because I mean, they did pull it off. Just like the KC team up there. They pulled it off back to back champions, and you know, yeah, they were paying the refs under the table, but all that good stuff. Yep, yep. Jalen Hurts and Lane Johnson. Yep, two OU legends right there. Yeah, I mean, and coming from Alabama to Oklahoma, I've got both of those rookie cards. Um, and but yeah, no, he's not a phenomenal player. It's just the people around him, to be honest, because he does have a good head on his shoulders. As far as yes, yes, yeah, no, it's just like everybody that's won the Super Bowl. There's been a lot of smash mouth football, and now there's a lot of powder puff football. And I'm glad that they're changing the rule to do an instant replay on face mask calls. Um, just because there's been so many pinky hits, pink, that hit the face mask, and the quarterback flinches and reacts. That 15-yard penalty because they pulled the face mask. No, his his hand grazed the face mask, and it caused the quarterback to react. Mahomes is the worst about it. And so, they're paying those refs under the table, and that's why they win so many games. Um, yeah, he's a good quarterback. Just there's more talented than him. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, and that's what I was saying. He's got the talent around him. He's not a 100% great quarterback, but he's got the talent around him to make him look phenomenal. So, and Jack Hardy is calling you out, Mr. Roy Joe Bradley Jr. Not calling you out, he just added you. So you might see him pop up on your section right there. But no, there's a lot of talent out there in the NFL, and sometimes some teams get more talent than the rest of us, and it shows. Uh, we were we were slated to be the NFC East champions this year. Didn't happen. Exactly, and that's what I was saying. You can't fault a team that builds around and makes the team better. Now they lost. What did they lose? 11 starters this year. So now they're going to have to fill their holes as well. We picked up two of their starters, I believe, um, and now they're on our team. So, but I'm pretty sure they lost 11 players to other teams already in the free agency before the draft. So now they are looking for hole fillers, from wide receivers to linemen to defensive linemen. So they and some linebackers. So they're hurting right now, and so we're going to see what kind of a caliber team they are next year. Just because free agency happens and everybody loses their minds and starts spending tons of money. True. Yeah. Yeah. Like Tua is a better passer than Jalen, but Jalen is a better scrambler. 100%. And that's what I like about Joe Milton, our backup QB to Dak right now. Is he is a scrambler. Dak used to be a scrambler until he got that leg injury, and yeah, he's dropped 30 pounds and looks like he's in phenomenal shape. And they say his physique is a little more like Lamar Jackson right now. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if he's going to play any of preseason at all. In my gut estimate, I'm pretty sure he's not. I think Joe Milton is going to be taking the reps for the first half of the game at least, and then any quarterback that we have on the roster will be in the third and fourth quarter, depending on how many quarterbacks we have on the slate. But that's just my guess. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. If our own line could block and Tua would stay in the pocket, be a pocket passer, he would be a top 10. He's so good. Now I get that, and but people like to scramble. They see that pocket collapsing even before it collapses, and they take off. Dak was doing the same thing. He would get out of the pocket and not trust his line, and rightfully so. Um, and he would scramble, and he's Dak Prescott is one of the dangerous players when he scrambles because he can still make the throw down the field. And so that's a good thing. And he'll even go what everybody hates, go back against where he should be throwing over here. He'll throw back across the field, which can sometimes lead to a pick, yes, but 90% of the time his pass goes to the receiver. So no, I get that feeling because we had that problem ourselves, and we he has to scramble just like Tua has to scramble. The O line isn't as great as it should be, but um, it is what it is. I mean, until you get the better pieces that can bench press a bus and move people out of the way or keep them off your quarterback, you know, it is going to be a scramble drill on a regular basis. So that's what most teams need to work on is scramble drills in the NFL. And they try to teach you to stay in the pocket, but if it's collapsing, it's collapsing, and you don't have a choice. So I get it 100%, and and I've never been there. I've played football. Coach had me at the wrong position. I should have been a tight end or a wide receiver because I had the speed, but no, I was a lineman. 150 some odd pound lineman going against 230 pounds or 300-pound lineman on defense, you know, and it had coach used me somewhere else, wide receiver or tight end, it would have been a lot better for the team. But that's not where I was. So, and also not fully on the O line. His last concussion was his fault. He needs to be smart. Well, yeah, and that's quarterbacks though. You get those that try to be the powerhouse and run through people, but if you're scrambling, get down faster. Yeah, I know you want to make that extra yard or extra 3 yards or whatever it is, but you see that defender coming at you, get down. you know. But some people don't comprehend that until they're in a concussion protocol for the next 6 weeks or out for the season. You and yeah, one too many concussions, and he might not ever be playing ever again. You know, that's why we need to draft Gabriel to maybe be a long-term option. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that are going to be gunning for Gabriel, from what I understand, as well. So of course, Ward is going in the top two. Shadir is going in the top two. Um, so there you go. Um, so we'll see. Because there could be some trades happen that we're not expecting. I mean, heck, the Dolphins could trade down, you know, into the top five spots. The Cowboys could trade into the top five spots. You know, there's no telling what's going to happen this draft season, and we all speculate and what we want to happen as fans, but we don't always get what we want from the owners. So yeah, I mean, some of our mock draft boards have Gabriel coming to us in like the second or third round. So you know, we'll see if he's still there for your Dolphin team. Um, but unfortunately, there is a lot of good talent in this draft class this year with quarterbacks, with running backs, with wide receivers, with offensive line, defensive line, secondary, tight ends. I mean, all that stuff. So there's going to be plenty to pick and choose from, and then there's still going to be plenty to pick and choose from in the undrafted free agents right after the draft. So um, this is a draft heavy class this year. and this is one of the best classes I've seen in a while coming out. Have there been good classes in the past? Of course there have. But this is a pretty heavy class right now. Yeah, Billy Bowman's good. We're looking at Stutzman out of OU as well. Heavy hitter, uh, good ball hawk all the way around. So the Cowboys are looking at Stutzman right now, but we'll see. Um, yeah, Billy Bowman is super good, and I don't know how many Roy out of the Arkansas draft class is coming in, um, but maybe you do. I know you talked about the tight end out there, and I just don't know who else out of Arkansas is coming in. I'd have to go. Well, I'd have to look on the draft projection because it shows who they are, uh, who Arkansas has coming into this draft class. So yeah, it's possible. I mean, it could happen. I know he's already visited Dallas. Oh, that's the only one you know so far. Okay. Um, yeah, I don't know how many OU is putting into the draft either, but I know it's at least 10 that are going into the draft. I think. Um, I could be wrong on that number, but I figured you would know, Mr. Roy, how many of your Arkansas talented players will be going into the NFL draft this year. But no, it's okay if you don't know. I know you can go find out, but the show's coming close to an end. Oh yeah, 100%. Whoever gets Stutzman will have a top linebacker. Yeah, 100%. I'm projecting him to go in the third or fourth round, most likely, possibly in the second round, um, depending. So I know we're going to be filling our running back and wide receiver needs right off the bat. Um, we don't have any picks in the fourth at this present juncture. Um, we have a ton in the fifth. So by the time we get to the fifth rounder, we have one through three on our draft picks, and then we have nothing in the fourth, and we have a ton in the fifth, a few in the sixth, and a few in the seventh. So we've got 10 picks this year. So yeah, it was, but it didn't show just because um, of how many games we lost uh, to big time schools. Welcome to the SEC, and had we played Arkansas, we would have beat them. But you know, just like we did back in the '60s and '70s. Sorry, Roy, but it's true. That's why you guys jumped ship from the Big 12 and into the SEC was because you couldn't beat OU back in those days. So I get it. I get it. It's okay. Calm down. Calm down. Every time we played a good team, our defense could get stops, but our offense stunk. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we had the interceptions, we had the fumbles, we had. It's just like what's wrong with you guys? All of a sudden, we're playing a caliber team that's in the top 10 or top 25, and you look like shit all the way around. And yeah, the defense did its thing, but if you're already down three scores, you know, it's just like going to the championship game or the bowl game with LSU. We got blown out 62 to 20 or whatever it was. It wasn't even a game. Joe Burrow was lighting up our field, our backfield like crazy, and that's why he was drafted so high by the Bengals. Oh yeah, we had one of the toughest schedules last year. Yeah, Texas got a complete cakewalk. Um, because I think our third game we were playing Tennessee. They were already nationally ranked, you know, top 10 team in the nation. And then 2 games later, it was another top 25 team, uh, game after that was a top 25 team. You know, and yeah, we were in the top 25 until Tennessee, and then we dropped out. Boom, gone. And so, but yeah, it and just like I think Dallas has one of the toughest schedules coming up next season, out of anybody. You know, not everybody, but you know, we're in the top 10 hardest schedules. No, we haven't played them. That was Arkansas. You're mistaken. You're mistaken there, Mr. Roy. We don't play the high school teams. We play the big dogs. You know, 3 games in. We don't wait till 5 or 6 games in. Bama, Tennessee, Mizzou, LSU, SC, Ole Miss, and Auburn. Yeah. No, it was Arkansas there, Roy. I'm sure because you played uh, the Little Rock Christian. I think is who you guys started out with for your first game, which was a Pee Wee team, and then you guys progressed to I think it was a Lutheran Christian uh, from Missouri, which was their Pee Wee team next, and then let's see, you graduated to a high school team next for Arkansas. That's why they won their first couple of games. You know, first 3 games at least. Uh, this is what makes it great. You can you can you can gig each other on your teams, you know, and but we'll see. Yeah, we've got a pretty tough schedule coming up uh, for this next slate as well. But you know, hopefully we'll do better, fare better on the games when it comes down to it. Well, Texas gets Kentucky, Mississippi State, Florida, Georgia, Vandy, and Texas A&M. Now, Texas A&M could be a tough test for them, but yeah, some of those other, I mean, Mississippi State, they usually have a pretty good team. So Florida, they've sucked the past couple of years. Georgia, Vandy, Vandy's coming up, but yeah, no, I get it. You know, they're getting a cakewalk. It seems, especially with their big bodies that they've got. And then their starting quarterback in a Manning, you know, who everybody's wanting. Even uh, Dad wants him Arch Manning to go to Dallas whenever the draft happens. So we've got Michigan in week 2. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna have a tough slate if we don't change our ways, if you will. If we don't change our ways, we're all gonna lose if we don't change our ways. But no, it. That's what makes football fun. Is because you never know from year to year what team is going to show up. You either got a winning caliber team or you got a no team at all. You know, I don't even think we're going to be in the top 25 this year. I mean, we could already be in the top 25. I don't know. I haven't looked. So, um, and if we are, we're probably at like 23 or 24. You know, somewhere in that range, if I had to guess. So, but yeah, I just don't know. You always want your teams to do well. Yeah, they picked up some good fillers in there, and so we should have a pretty decent team. But we've said that for a couple years now, and then we fall apart. You know, 3 games in for whatever reason, we win the first 2 handily, and then we start looking like we don't even know what the football is. Yeah, at least our offense looks significantly better, and defense is still top 10 and got better. Yeah, and like I said, it makes no sense sometimes. Yeah, Ben Arbuckle is actually really good. He developed Cam Ward. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna see some improvements because we picked up some. some good um, coaches, from other teams, and that's why some players followed these coaches over because they helped develop those players from other schools, and so we're going to see an improvement, 100%. And so I hope we see a great improvement to where we win more than 6 games or 7 games. Hopefully, we can win like 9 games or so, and get a better bowl game, or even go into the playoffs. Um, and that's what every school wants. Roy wants Arkansas to do the same. I don't know what they've picked up this year for Arkansas, as far as coaches and or new players from the portal, which they're changing the portal as well, on how you can move from team to team. So that's different for everybody, especially for the players. Um, they are, and Brent Venables is calling the defensive plays like when he was the DC at Clemson when they won. Yeah, yeah, and he should have been doing it the whole time. I mean, unfortunately for them, he wasn't. He was just being the head coach because he was a great uh, defensive mind when he was at OU before he jumped ship, and that's why we had the 2000 championship undefeated season. Um, and then we went farther into the playoffs, after the 2000 season. But if he can get that mindset back and get the talent back in there, because we didn't have the greatest of teams back then, but it was just how we played ball, smash mouth, um, you know, hard and fast, and it was just cutthroat, if you will, and it showed because you win a national championship, right then and there, and it was awesome. So, you know, but that was 25 years ago, and we haven't seen one since. Yeah, I can see that, but and that's the thing I don't understand is that you've got winning coaches, but yet you don't let them develop like you let hold on like you let players develop. If a coach doesn't win, you know, his first 2 seasons, he's gone. Well, you haven't even given it a chance. It's like we gave McCarthy a chance. And yes, we made some playoff runs. But you can't keep going this record, this record, this record, and not going deep into the playoffs. And, yes, we had Dan Campbell, our defensive coordinator, who took the freaking Redskins, Commanders, to, the champion, nearly the championship. Um, and he took 10 different players from Dallas to Washington with him, as well as some coordinators. Um, Al Harris should still be in Dallas as the head coach, or they made him assistant head coach, but he should have been the head coach. But now he's over in Tennessee or wherever he got moved to. But OU is the same way. Um, we've got the talent. We just make some bonehead moves right then and there, and it doesn't help us. And then all of a sudden, we don't know how to play football 100%. And I just don't understand, you know. But it is what it is. I mean, hopefully we do good this year. Hopefully we make that playoff run for the championship. 16-game playoff configuration. Well, that's your opinion, right there, Mr. Tomb. 112. Um, Everybody has an opinion. I'm an OU fan, always will be. Uh, I I will root for OSU if they're not playing against Oklahoma. Uh, my daughter went to Oklahoma State, so she got her master's from there. And but that's my school. I grew up in Oklahoma, so I'm an OU Sooner. Just like I'm a Dallas Cowboy, and I have the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Texas Rangers as the baseball team. There you go. And everybody gripes about everybody else's team because they're not their team. But then you got these other people that have multiple NFL teams. They have multiple college teams that they can fall back on. Oh, this team isn't doing well, so I can pull out this jersey for this team. Just like they have multiple basketball teams, baseball teams, hockey teams. You know, I'm a loyal Dallas fan. I'm a loyal OU fan. Um, Texas Ranger fan, Thunder fan. Do I watch every game that comes out? Dallas, yes, I try to, unless I'm at a convention, comic book convention, that is. And if they've got the late game, then I'll watch it. But if they've got the early game, I will still try and watch it. I'll listen to it, uh, all that good stuff. OU Thunder? No, not right there. I will watch some games periodically, but I just follow them. Rangers, I'll follow them. And no, he's not right, Mr. Roy Joe Bradley Jr. You got the wrong team. Arkansas is the worst, as they've proven year after year. But anyway, let's talk about their championships and their conference championships, shall we, Roy? And we'll put them up against OU's. But yeah, no. Um, Everybody has their favorite school. Oh, let's don't see. Yeah, Roy. How many Heisman winners does Arkansas have? Let's just start there. Roy, it's all good, man. And like I said, everybody's got their opinion on who they like, who they don't like. Um, and it's just like, every facet of every sport has that option to hate on another team, you know. But especially from other states, um, you get you get that a lot, and it's just like the Dallas Cowboys being the most hated team in the football universe. And why do they get so much hate? I don't know. Um, yes, they were the team of the '90s to beat, uh, getting 3 Super Bowls in the '90s, but it's they haven't been that dynasty since then, since '96, right? So why are they still the most hated team in the universe when it comes to football? I have no idea. You know, um, the Cowboys will be in the Jones family for eternity because once Jerry's gone, Steven will have it and the daughter, and then once those two no longer exist in life, one of their kids will have it. Unless they just completely sell it off and keep some rights, to get them paid. Um, the Dallas Cowboys will be in the Joneses family for eternity. You know, and yes, it's because a big majority of the fan base. But as they say, Philadelphia has the worst fan base in the world. That get into fights, that curse people out, that vandalize vehicles, that do all kinds of stuff. Um, and that's a true thing because there's a report on that who has the worst fan base in football or professional football, and I'm pretty sure Philadelphia was number one. So but Eagles have the worst, then Cowboys, then Bills. No, I think the Dolphins have one of the worst. Nah, I mean, um, I just don't see as many fistfights breaking out at our stadium as I do other people's stadiums on a regular basis. And I've been to one game, and we actually beat the Bengals then by a field goal, and so that was pretty awesome and exciting. No, it's only me. This team is poverty. Oh, that's a good one. All right, guys. I'm going to go try and get my illustrator to work properly. So I am going to kill it for today. I do appreciate all the banter, especially about football. But it's been a fun one today with all of the banter back and forth about the sports teams that we like and the players that we can admire. But I appreciate each and every one of you being here. I do, truly do. Please like, share, and follow. But as I like to say, as I leave you guys, we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody. Yes, Boomer Sooner, all the way.